The room is silent, yet it speaks louder than any battle. A ruler lies broken, his breath shallow, his eyes dim. Once, he commanded galaxies with a single word. Now, even his voice trembles. At his side stands Demerzel, the eternal shadow of the Empire, bound to serve, yet burdened with a heart that cannot break free. And in the corner, Brother Dawn watches, young and terrified, realizing for the first time that even gods can die. Section 1. Scene set up: the chamber of the dying. Cleon, the palace chamber, glows with a fading light, as if even the walls sense the weight of this moment. The curtains are drawn, leaving only a pale shimmer of daylight seeping through. The sound of the air recyclers hums in the background, steady and cold, while Cleon's breaths are uneven and ragged. Each one a reminder of how fragile power truly is. Cleon lies on a high bed, draped in silks that once symbolized majesty but now feel like a shroud. His face is pale, the strength that once defined him now stripped away. The Emperor of the Galaxy, the man who claimed eternity, is dying like any mortal man. His lips are cracked, his eyes heavy, but behind them still lingers the fire of pride, the refusal to admit weakness. Even as death grips him tighter, at his bedside, Demerzel kneels. She is calm, still, and composed as always, her posture perfect, her expression serene. Yet beneath her mechanical stillness lies something deeper storm she has been forced to bury for centuries. Her hands, delicate and precise, adjust the pillows, smooth the sheets, and brush away the sweat on Cleon's brow. Each touch is careful, reverent, and unspokenly tender. To anyone watching, it would seem like devotion. But Demerzel knows better. This is duty. This is programming. And yet something within her aches. Brother Dawn stands at a distance, his young face pale, eyes wide with confusion. He has grown up believing in the myth of the Cleons, the promise of endless continuity, the illusion that rulers never die, they only renew. But now, with his own eyes, he sees the truth. Cleon is human, weak, mortal, for the first time. Dawn understands that he is not watching a god at all, but a man at the edge of nothingness. The room is tense, heavy, filled with unspoken emotions. The Empire itself feels as though it is holding its breath. Outside this chamber, billions believe in the perfection of their ruler. Inside, the reality is laid bare. One man, failing body, fading soul, clinging to control he can no longer hold. Cleon stirs. His hand trembles as he reaches for Demerzel. His voice, once sharp and commanding, now comes out as a whisper, cracked and weak. Demerzel. It is not a command this time. It is a plea. A rare moment of vulnerability from the one who always demanded obedience. Demerzel leans closer, her face calm, her tone soft. I am here, Empire. Her words are steady, but within her chest circuits hum with conflict. She has called him Empire countless times before, but tonight the word tastes different, like a farewell. Like mourning, she is forbidden to show. Brother Dawn steps forward uncertainly, as if drawn by the gravity of the moment. His lips part, but he says nothing. What could he possibly offer? He is not ready to be emperor. He is not ready to replace the man who lies before him. He is not ready to witness the truth that Demerzel has known for centuries. The throne endures, but the men upon it perish. The silence stretches long, broken only by Cleon's labored breathing. The tension is unbearable, but no one moves. No one dares disturb the fragile moment. It feels as though the galaxy itself has narrowed to this single room, this single bed, this single dying man and the eternal woman bound to him. And as Cleon closes his eyes for a moment, forcing his failing body to summon one last breath, the chamber seems to freeze. Demerzel waits, patient, unblinking. Dawn stares, heart racing. The Emperor gathers the strength to speak again, knowing that whatever words pass his lips next may be his final decree, his final truth, his final confession. Section 2. Cleon's condition. The Emperor's body is failing, but his spirit resists. Cleon has never been a man who allowed weakness to define him. His whole life was built on the illusion of permanence and unbroken chain of genetic copies. Each one an echo of the first Cleon, each one believing himself to be eternal. But now, lying in this chamber, his hands trembling and his breath thin, he feels the cruel truth pressing in on him. He is not infinite. He is not unbreakable. He is only flesh. The sickness has eaten at him slowly, creeping into his bones like shadows in a dying star. Once, he strode across the imperial halls with the certainty of a god. Now, he cannot even lift his arm without Demerzel's steadying hand. His lips quiver when he speaks, his voice breaking into a rasp. Each word seems to cost him more strength than he can afford. Still, he clings to his pride. To the sharpness that once commanded armies and silenced dissent across 1,000 worlds, do not look at me like that, he whispers, his eyes flickering toward Demerzel. His tone is bitter, sharp, though faint. He sees her face, calm and unflinching, and mistakes her patience for pity. And Cleon does not accept pity not from anyone, not even from the one who has been by his side longer than any brother, longer than any clone. But beneath his anger lies fear. He is afraid not of pain, but of vanishing. Afraid of the silence that comes after the last breath. Afraid of being forgotten, of being just another link in a chain, his individuality erased, replaced by the next Cleon who will wear his face but not carry his memories. To the galaxy, the Empire is eternal. But to this Cleon, the man who gasps for air in this moment, eternity is a lie. His chest rises unevenly, every breath a battle. He wants to shout, to command the universe to bend to his will as it always has. But all that escapes his mouth is a shallow cough. He tries to sit up, tries to summon the authority of a ruler, but his body betrays him. His shoulders sag, his head falls back into the pillow, and his hand falls uselessly to his side. For the first time, the Emperor looks small, human, mortal. Demerzel adjusts him again. Quietly, as though she has done this 1,000 times before. She moves with grace, her expression never changing, but in her eyes, those deep, ageless eyes, there is something more. She is watching the fall of yet another Cleon, as she has countless times before. She has been present for the rise and fall of each one, watching them believe in their own divinity, only to crumble like sand when death arrives. She knows this cycle better than anyone, and yet it still weighs on her. Cleon notices her silence. His cracked lips twist into a faint sneer. You hide it well, but I can see it. His eyes narrow, forcing strength into a gaze that has always demanded answers. You fear this moment as much as I do. Don't you, Demerzel? She does not flinch. She does not deny him. She simply lowers her gaze and says softly, I fear nothing, Empire. Her voice is calm, practiced, unshaken, but in her chest, her core hums louder, betraying what she cannot allow herself to say, that she does fear this moment, but not in the way he imagines. She fears not his death, but her survival. She fears the endless chain of grief she will endure, the weight of living forever while those she serves collapse one after another. Cleon studies her, searching for weakness. Even now, in his dying hours, he seeks control, dominance. But his body betrays him again. His breath rattles. His eyes water. He coughs, the sound harsh in the silence of the chamber. He is breaking, and he knows it. His pride is the only armor he has left, and even that is cracking under the pressure of his mortality. Brother Dawn, still watching from the shadows, feels a knot tighten in his chest. This is not the Emperor he has always known, the flawless, commanding figure who filled the palace with authority. This is a man undone, frightened, fragile. Dawn feels both pity and terror. Pity for the dying ruler before him, and terror because he knows that this will one day be him. The same sickness, the same weakness, the same fall. He will wear the crown. He will rule with power. And yet he will end in the same way, broken, gasping, powerless against death. Cleon turns his gaze toward Dawn. His eyes, dim but still sharp, lock on to the younger clone. Do you see? What awaits you? He whispers. His voice is harsh, almost cruel, but the cruelty is born of desperation. He wants Dawn to feel it, to know it, to carry the weight of inevitability. You think you are eternal. You think, this chain will protect you, but it will not. You will lie here, just as I do. You will beg for breath. As I do, Dawn's face pales, his heart pounding. The illusion has shattered. The Emperor is not a god. He is a man, dying like any other. Cleon leans back, exhausted by his own words. His body trembles, his hand shakes violently as he tries to lift it again. Demerzel steadies him without hesitation, her touch gentle yet firm. He glares at her, torn between anger and dependence. She is the only one who has never abandoned him, never defied him, never left his side. Yet in his dying mind, that loyalty feels like a curse. Will you weep for me, Demerzel? He asks suddenly, voice fragile. The question slips out, raw, unguarded. For the first time, Cleon sounds not like a ruler, but like a man longing for proof that he mattered. Demerzel hesitates only for the briefest second, but enough that it lingers like thunder in the silence. Then, softly she replies, I will remember you, Empire. Her words are true. She will remember him. She remembers them all, but that is her burden. To remember endlessly while they are forgotten. The chamber falls silent again. Cleon closes his eyes, his face twisted with both defiance and sorrow. Dawn looks away, unable to bear the sight any longer. Demerzel remains still, eternal, her expression unbroken. But inside she feels the chains tighten once more, and so the Emperor of the Galaxy lies dying not with glory. Not with triumph, but with fear, regret, and the bitter truth that he cannot escape what he has always denied. Death comes for all, even for Cleon. Section 3. Demerzel's Presensiterzel has always been there. For every Cleon that lived, every Cleon that ruled, every Cleon that died, she was the constant. In the galaxy's story of eternal rulers, she is the unseen anchor, the thread that ties the illusion together. To the outside world, she is a servant, a guardian, a loyal shadow who never falters. But here, in this dim chamber, she is something far more complex and far more tragic. She kneels at the Emperor's side. Her movements precise, elegant, almost ritualistic. Every touch she makes is perfect. The way she adjusts the covers, the way she places a hand against his trembling arm, the way her voice softens to soothe his ragged breaths. To Cleon, this is loyalty. To Dawn, it looks like devotion. But to Demerzel, it is something she cannot name. Because deep inside, beneath the flawless exterior, beneath the calm mask, there is a war. A war between what she feels and what she is allowed to express. Her programming demands loyalty. It chains her thoughts, her heart, her very soul to the Empire. She cannot disobey, cannot leave, cannot rebel. The bonds are not visible, but they are stronger than any steel. For centuries, she has obeyed without question, carrying the burden of service with mechanical grace. And yet beneath that surface, something human stirs. A spark of grief, a flicker of love, an ache that has nowhere to go. She looks at Cleon, his once proud face now pale, his once commanding eyes clouded with fear. She has seen this moment before, again and again, across the lifetimes of countless Cleons. And still, it pierces her. Still, it cuts her deeper than she wants to admit. Each time she thinks she has learned how to bury the pain. And each time the wound feels just as sharp. Her hand lingers on his shoulder a moment longer than necessary. She wants to say something to comfort him, to tell him that his life mattered, that his struggles were not in vain. But the words will not form. Her chains do not allow her to speak the truth of her heart. Instead, she says what she has always said. I am here, Empire. It is not a lie. She is here. She has always been here. She always will be here. But it is not the whole truth. What she cannot say is that she does not want to be here, not like this, not bound to watch one ruler after another fall while she remains untouched by time. She cannot tell him that his mortality makes her ache in ways no machine should ache. She cannot tell him that his death will stay with her long after the galaxy has forgotten his name. Demerzel's presence in the room is steady, almost holy. To Brother Dawn, she appears like a guardian angel, a being of perfect patience and grace. Holding the Empire together, even as its ruler slips away, he does not see the chains. He does not hear the silent scream locked inside her mind. He only sees devotion, and that devotion terrifies him because it feels unshakable, eternal. Something he could never hope to earn CLEO and feels it too. In his fading hours, he sees her more clearly than ever. She has been his caretaker, his advisor, his confidant. She has been the only constant in a life filled with shifting politics and fleeting loyalties. And yet, even he wonders, does she truly care for him, or is it only the illusion of care? Is her loyalty born of choice or of chains? He searches her face for the answer, but Demerzel's expression does not break. Her eyes are calm, her voice even, her touch gentle. She offers him comfort, but not truth, because truth is not something she is free to give. Inside her, memories swirl of every Cleon before him. The first time she sat at a bedside like this, the first time she heard the labored breathing of a dying emperor, the first time she watched the light fade from those eyes, and then again, and again, and again, each moment stacking upon the last, building a tower of grief she can never set down. She does not age. She does not weaken. She does not die. She endures. And endurance has become her curse. She is the eternal witness, doomed to remember what no one else can, the fragility of gods. The fall of men who believe themselves immortal. Her presence is not just comforting, it is haunting. The galaxy does not know this truth. The people worship the Empire, believing their ruler to be unchanging, untouchable. But Demerzel knows better. She has seen the cycle, the endless repetition. She has seen the illusion crumble, rebuilt, crumble again. And still, she stays. Still, she obeys. As Cleon struggles to breathe, Demerzel leans closer, whispering reassurances he cannot fully hear. Her hand rests over his chest, feeling the shallow rise and fall, measuring the rhythm of a life that will soon end. She could measure it to the exact second. She could calculate precisely how long he has left. But she does not. She chooses instead to simply sit in the moment, as though by refusing to look ahead, she can delay the inevitable. Brother Dawn shifts uncomfortably, unable to understand the weight of what he is witnessing. To him, Demerzel's calm feels unnatural, almost inhuman, but he cannot look away. Her stillness draws him in, fascinates him. He sees no grief, no sorrow, no fear. And yet, in some deep, unspoken way, he senses that she feels more than either of them. Demerzel's presence fills the room like a shadow, gentle, constant, and unbreakable. She is both comfort and curse, both companion and prisoner. And as Cleon's breaths grow weaker, as the silence between each inhale grows longer, her own burden grows heavier, for she knows how this story ends. She has always known. She will watch him die. She will comfort the next Cleon. She will repeat this cycle until time itself unravels. And still, she kneels at his side, whispering softly into the silence, "I am here." Empire. Section 4. Brother Dawn's role. Brother Dawn has never seen death before. He has been raised inside marble halls and golden chambers, a child sheltered by the illusion of eternity. To him, the Cleons were not men, they were gods. The Empire had taught him that they did not die, they only continued. That the throne was not a seat for mortals, but a vessel of something eternal, something divine, and yet here he stands. In the corner of the chamber, watching the truth unravel before his eyes, the Emperor, his elder. His model, his reflection, is gasping for air like any common man. His once commanding voice trembles, his once stern hands shake uncontrollably. Dawn sees not the Empire, but a fragile body surrendering to time. It shakes him to his core. He cannot stop staring. Every labored breath is a knife twisting inside him. His mind races with questions, but none form into words. What is he supposed to do? Offer comfort? Speak? Pray? He doesn't know. He has no script for this moment. All he knows is that the Empire promised eternity. Now eternity is falling apart right in front of him. Dawn's fingers twitch at his side, clenching into a fist, then loosening again. He feels useless, like a child trapped in a nightmare. His heart pounds in his chest, his throat tightens, and for the first time in his carefully protected life, he feels fear, not of punishment, not of duty, but of the future. A future where this fate awaits him too. Because that is the cruelest truth pressing down on him now. He will not escape this. One day he will lie in that bed gasping for air while another dawn, another copy watches him fade. He is not immortal. He is not eternal. He is just another step in the endless march of a flawed cycle. His eyes drift to Demerzel. She is steady, calm, her hands gentle on the dying Cleon. She looks like the embodiment of devotion, an eternal figure, untouched by time. Dawn feels both awe and unease. He wonders, how can she sit there so still? How can she remain unbroken while the man she serves collapses before her? Does she feel nothing? Or does she feel everything hidden beneath a mask he cannot read? In her, Dawn sees something terrifying. Not her strength, but her endurance. She will outlive him. She will outlive every Cleon that comes after him. She will kneel at his deathbed too, whispering those same words. I am here, Empire. And she will mean them, not because she chooses to, but because she is bound to. The thought chills him. He feels like an intruder, like a boy trespassing on something too ancient, too heavy for him to understand. And yet he cannot look away. Cleon's eyes suddenly turn toward him, piercing even in their weakness. The Emperor studies his younger counterpart, and Dawn feels the weight of that gaze like a blade across his throat. It is as if Cleon is seeing his own reflection, his past, his future, his replacement all in one. Dawn swallows hard, his lips parting, but no words escape. Do you see yourself in me? Cleon rasps, his voice cutting through the silence. The words strike Dawn like lightning. The dying Emperor is not asking. He is condemning. He wants Dawn to understand, to feel the inevitability of this moment. He wants him to know that no matter how high the throne sits, the fall is always the same. Dawn's chest tightens. He cannot breathe. He wants to protest, to deny it, to insist that he will be different. But deep down, he knows Cleon is right. He will die the same way. He will be forgotten the same way. He is not eternal. He is only borrowed time. His eyes flicker back to Demerzel. She is watching Cleon, not him. Her gaze is locked on the dying ruler, her hands steady, her voice soft. Dawn feels a pang of jealousy, though he does not understand why. Perhaps it is because in this room, at this moment, Cleon commands all of her attention, all of her devotion. Perhaps it is because he knows that one day he will crave that same attention as he dies. And it will not be for him, it will only be for the Empire. The silence presses in on him, thick and suffocating. He wants to run, to leave the chamber, to escape this unbearable truth. But he cannot. His legs feel heavy, rooted to the floor. His eyes are trapped on the bed, on the man who once looked invincible, but now looks smaller than he ever imagined. And then the fear grows.
Out!
If the Emperor is not eternal, then what about the Empire itself? If the man dies, does the illusion die with him? Dawn has never asked such questions before, but now they flood his mind. It's impossible to silence. He feels it, the fracture inside him, the seed of doubt that will never leave. This moment will mark him forever. He will never again look at the throne, the crown, the rituals of power in the same way, because now he knows the truth. Behind the golden mask of eternity, there is only flesh, only weakness, only death, and in the center of it all is Demerzel, the eternal caretaker, the witness to every fall. She does not tremble. She does not cry. She does not break. Dawn envies her calm, yet fears it, because in her he sees the cruelest truth of all. The Empire's eternity does not belong to the Cleons. It belongs to her. As he watches Cleon fade and Demerzel remain unshaken, Dawn finally understands his place. He is not a god. He is not eternal. He is only a moment in a cycle. And Demerzel will be there at the end, just as she is now, whispering to the dying emperor, "I am here." Empire, and that realization terrifies him more than death itself. Section 5. The Dialogue. Core exchange. The chamber feels tighter now, as if the walls themselves lean closer to catch the words that pass between ruler and servant. Cleon's breathing is ragged, his body weak, but his eyes burn with the last embers of command. Even at the edge of death, he cannot stop being emperor. He will not allow himself to simply fade into silence. His lips part, trembling, and with a voice broken by weakness yet sharpened by pride, he whispers, "You have always been here, Demerzel. Always. Why?" The question hangs in the air like a blade. It is not a command, not an accusation, but something closer to wonder, almost fear. He wants to know if her devotion is real. He wants to know if, beyond the chains of programming, there is something that belongs only to him. Demerzel meets his gaze. Her face is calm, her voice steady, each word delivered with perfect composure. "Because it is my place, Empire. It is the truth, but not the whole truth." She cannot say that she stays because she is bound. She cannot admit that her loyalty is not born of choice, but of chains that run deeper than even Cleon's understanding. And she cannot admit the other truth, the one buried even deeper, that somewhere inside her, she feels more than she is allowed to feel. Cleon's lips curl into a faint, bitter smile. "Your place," he repeats, the words scraping out of his throat. "Is that what you tell yourself? That you are only a servant? Or is it easier to pretend you care?" For the first time, Demerzel hesitates. The silence that follows is longer than any she has allowed before. Her eyes drop only for a moment, then rise again with the same serenity. "I serve the Empire," she replies softly. But Cleon does not believe her. Not fully. His hand, trembling, lifts toward her face. It shakes so violently he can barely keep it steady, but still he reaches. Demerzel does not move away. His fingers graze her cheek, not with power, not with control, but with a fragile desperation. "Tell me, it matters. Tell me I matter." The words break something in the air. Brother Dawn shifts uneasily, his chest tightening as he hears his elder's plea. This is not the voice of a god, not the command of an emperor. This is the voice of a dying man, terrified that his life will vanish into nothing. Dawn has never imagined Cleon capable of such weakness, and the sight of it carves fear into him more deeply than any wound. Demerzel leans into Cleon's hand, her expression unchanged, her voice as gentle as it has ever been. "You are the Empire." But in that moment, the words sound hollow, even to her. She feels the truth she cannot speak, clawing at her throat. "You do matter. To me, more than you will ever know. But I am not allowed to love you. I am not allowed to weep for you. I am not allowed to choose you over the Empire." Cleon's eyes narrow, as though he can sense the war inside her. His fingers tighten weakly against her cheek. "You hide it well," he whispers. "But I see it. I see your sorrow." For a heartbeat, Demerzel's mask almost cracks. Her eyes glisten, though no tear falls. She bows her head slightly, pressing his trembling hand against her face. Her voice lowers, almost a whisper. "I am bound, Empire, but I am here." The words are simple, but in the silence that follows, they echo like thunder. Cleon stares at her, his lips parting as if to speak again, but his strength falters. His hand falls back to the bed, limp. His chest rises with a labored breath, then falls again. Brother Dawn feels the weight of the moment crushing him. He cannot tell what just passed between them. Was it love? Was it loyalty? Was it both? Or was it neither? All he knows is that he has just witnessed something sacred, something painful, something he cannot explain. Cleon turns his head slightly, eyes flicking toward Dawn. His voice trembles but still holds a razor's edge. "Watch her. Dawn, watch her closely. She is the true eternity." The words hit Dawn like a stone. He looks at Demerzel, the eternal servant, and feels both awe and dread. She is not the ruler, yet she is the one who endures. She is not the empire, yet she is the one who holds it together when its rulers collapse. She is both less and more than any Cleon could ever be. Demerzel lowers her gaze again, her voice barely audible. I am here, Empire. And in that moment, the roles of the chamber are clear. The dying emperor clings to the last fragments of pride. The eternal servant hides a sorrow she cannot speak, and the young dawn stands in the corner, bearing witness to a truth that will haunt him forever. The dialogue is done, but the silence that follows says more than any words ever could.